Okay, Leetcode 164 maximum gap. Given an integer array numbers, return the maximum difference between two successive elements in its sorted form. But we're not given sorted. Let's just do numbers dot sort. Even if we're not given something that's sorted, if we are given something that's sorted, this will run nothing. But if we are given something that is, if we're given something that is not sorted, this will sort it because it needs to be returned as something sorted. So let's just return it as sorted inside of the definition, inside of the function itself. If the array contains less than 2 elements, return 0. That is our parameter. So n needs to be greater than 2, greater than or equal to 2. If it contains less than 2 elements, return 0. So okay, so this would equal to 0, return 0. But let's look at the example. So we're given numbers. This looks to be sorted. 3, 6, 9, and 1. This is not sorted actually. But let's look at it. So the output is 3, and the output is the maximum difference between two successive elements, right? So if we sort this, we get 1, 3, 6, 9. 1, 3, 6, 9. We need to return the maximum gap between two sorted elements. So for the indices, it would be like 0 and 1, or 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, right? When you return, this needs to be the maximum. So x max, which is what we need to return, right? So it could be for I in range. So say for this in range, for I in range length of numbers -1 means we're getting the whole thing minus this, because when you're dealing in pairs, you have the -1 because you don't consider the last one to be inside of the whole range. You consider this one, and this one just compares with this one, right? So for I in range, the formula could be you're looking at I and then I plus 1. So we think about it like this, like if I is 0, I plus 1 is returns 1, the successive element, or the one right next to it, right? The successive means afterwards, so we're looking on the right of it, right? So the formula, say area, but let's do gap, right? Let's code it out. The formula could be gap equals something like, for I in range length of numbers -1, we have area equals, could have numbers, which is the given list, so numbers, and then the indices I plus 1, right? So if it's sorted, that means this value is bigger than this, so we want to subtract the small value from the little one, right? Or the small value from the big one. So do 3 minus 1, which, so 3 is I plus 1. I plus 1 minus numbers I. So this, for this one, it'll give us 3. Sorry, let's do for this one. Let's do for indice 3, which is I plus 1, minus I, which is 2. So it goes 6 minus 9. The output should be 3. So this will give you 3, this will give you 3, this will give you 2. But we have 3 and 3. So 3 returns to be the single maximum. Output is 3, right? It's either, so yeah, you can deal with either the set of numbers 3 and 6 or 6 and 9. You still get 3 at the end of the day, so that is the output. And then for numbers 10, your output is 0 because you only have one value here. It's you can only have a maximum difference between two values. You can only have a difference between two values. Well, a singular number can never have a difference between itself, right? So for that edge case, we're going to handle it doing if length of numbers is less than 2, we need to return 0, which is listed here, right? What this means is that if there's length of numbers, which is how many numbers are inside of the given array, right? If we're given an array which is singular number, this edge case over here, less than 2, 0 is less than 2, returns the value 0, return 0, output returned 0, right? So now we're going to get into the logic. So for any valid array now, where you can actually calculate a difference, you have for I in range length numbers -1. Now with this is the given operator for pairs. So you'll be using this for I in range of length of numbers -1, means you're using the range is a given everything in here, right? But it's the range of the length of the numbers, so the whole thing -1. So you're looking at this, right? So you're looking at pair here looking at pair here, and this one is used to just compare with the last value, because the range is the whole thing, the whole indice, the length of it. But then it'll be looking at this, which is the fourth number, or indice 3, right? But then you compare it with this, so it'll be -1, so now you're looking at this as well. This is what you'll stop on, and this will be compared with this will be compared with this will be compared with this, right? And then, so if the array given is not sorted, right? So this should be after this. So we wanna first do this. We wanna first sort the array, and we wanna initialize some type of difference, right? So you need to always initialize values for these type of questions, right? So for now, let's just pass. But what this does is the array, it's like for this one, is not sorted, but we want it to be sorted. So numbers.sort parentheses will sort the given numbers, right? Maximum gap, we initialize the value of 0. So now let's see what we can actually get maximum gap to become, right? For I in range or something, we're gonna have a formula. Now we could say area equals, right? For a container with the most area, you deal with area. But for this one, let's just say if we have a max gap, we need to have a current gap. So we could do current gap. And current gap would equal the I plus 1 minus I, the indice equation that we went over, right? So it'd be numbers of I plus 1 minus numbers of I. This is a formula for the indices. What this means is you're doing numbers of, if this is I, you're doing I plus 1, which is 6, and then you're doing minus I, which is 3, so 6 minus 3, and that'll get you the current gap. But we want to compare between the current gap and the current maximum gap as we sort through for I in the range of this entire thing. So for that one, you'll do maximum gap, which you want you to be your output, which is what we will change as we iterate through the whole thing. Maximum gap equals the maximum value between either the current gap, which is calculated for every value and every pair using this, the current gap, and then what is currently also the maximum gap. So as we iterate through the whole thing, we'll get a current gap. So say for the first set of indices for this and this, you start at 0, but we calculated 3. So you'll have the maximum gap now is either the maximum between 3 and 0, so you return 3. So 3 is set as the maximum gap. Okay, and you'll keep going. You get 3 again, and you'll get 2 for this one because 1 and 3, but that doesn't matter. So eventually you just end up with 3. The output is also 3. So now all you have to do is you just have to return this. You just need to return maximum gap, and what you'll be returning is the maximum gap that's kept as you iterate through every variable in the range of this. Now submit it, and this should bring us to case accepted 1 and 2. Let's go to submit and see what we get in our results. So we got a runtime that beats 77% and a memory that beats 60.1%, or basically 61%. This is a pretty optimal solution.